Kochie's Business Builders is proudly brought to you by our partners Peugeot and Dell, who are helping small businesses grow.
Coming up on Kochie's Business Builders, J&K on balancing bricks and mortar with online retailing. Mums and Co's Carrie Quan joins me as co-host expert and has pointers on work-life balance. Plus, we find out how Physio Inc is making strides in the movement to make a difference in healthcare. G'day and thanks for joining me for another great episode of Kochie's Business Builders as we take a look at the issues facing small business owners and come up with practical advice and tips to help them succeed. Joining me today as co-host is Carrie Kwan. Carrie is the co-founder of Mums & Co, and she is absolutely passionate about empowering women, particularly mums, to realise success in their businesses. Carrie, thanks for joining us. Great to have you aboard. Explain why you started Mums & Co.
So excited to be here. When I first started 6 years ago, I knew that it can be isolating when you're running a business on your own. It's that sort of daily challenge and making it all work. And what's more, you're exposing yourself to a bit of risk on this journey. You're blending your home life with your work life. And, you know, that comes with the finances as well.
So, Carrie, your Be Empowered event is aimed at startups, isn't it? And women in startups. How do we build a greater focus on them, particularly when it comes to investment?
Well, Be Empowered is our annual conference for business owning mothers, and it's a full day immersion to all our values around ambition, livelihood, well-being. We love helping women have the confidence to pitch about their business, to be able to articulate with clarity in terms of what their business story is, what their offering is, what their product is. And it's around giving them the confidence to unapologetically blend their ambition and their and being a mother.
It's terrific. It's a big issue. We've got a lot to get through in this half hour. Back with more thoughts from you shortly. But in the meantime, LV Jewels is a family business based out of Sydney's iconic QVB. When COVID hit, it was tumbleweeds at their store. So owners John and Nicole pivoted to online. Terrific. Now coming out the other side, they're looking to see where to put their focus. Carrie, is this a problem you're also seeing at Mums & Co with your members or even with your own business? Sort of businesses pivot away from their traditional operation and are finding it difficult to embrace both when we come out of the pandemic.
It's been a rather challenging for some, rewarding for others, 18 to 24 months. Focus is something that I think is continually that challenge for any business owner. But I think with pivoting, I always take that test and learn approach. So if you have pivoted across to something, then those metrics that you set in terms of figuring out if it was a success, if it is a success, keep sort of applying more time, more resources, more budget to it. And then, you know, reiterating on that and learning from it. So I think whilst that focus is somewhere different, that's okay if it's delivering on the metrics of success that you've defined.
And you can do both.
Yeah.
And that's the perfect thing, to go back to the traditional business plan, have the pivot working as well. All of a sudden you've got a couple of strings to your bow.
Yeah, and there was massive innovation during this last, 24 months.
Yep.
You know, we've had more digital adoption, we've had more people doing e-commerce, and that's opened another revenue stream for them.
Absolutely. Now, a few weeks ago, we sent in KBB expert J&K to help John and Nicole realign their business for success. Now she's back to see how they're going, operating both at their store and online.
Hello. Hi, thanks so much for coming. Thank you. This is my store.
It's beautiful. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, so this is our engraving pieces.
Yes.
So these are all the pieces that the people can get personalised and engraved. We do the engraving in store, so I'll just show you quickly where we do all the engraving.
Yeah.
Just in that little corner over there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So it all happens here?
It does,
So
yeah.
literally I can fall in love with something here.
Yeah.
And then I can walk away with it.
Absolutely.
Engraved.
Within 10 minutes. So this is our little gorgeous gift bag, and it comes in the gift box.
So this one is one of your best sellers, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's the initial piece. So
Okay.
it's just really simple. An initial, we can do initial on the front, initial on the back.
Yes.
And we've grown that range to have earrings. We've had double initials, a necklace, a ring. We've got the bracelet, the necklace. So it's
Yeah.
a really easy piece.
Now that Jane has seen how Nicole manages the LV Jewels store, she's headed back to their office to check in with John.
So John, since we last got together, I was lucky enough to visit Nicole in your beautiful,
Yes,
your
I
beautiful and
know.
tiny
Tiny,
QVB.
it's small. What did you think of it?
Well, I was amazed at actually how much traffic was going past now,
Yeah.
but Nicole actually told me that was, compared to what is normal, it's still just a trickle, really.
With COVID, there's been a lot of people still working from home,
Yes.
as you are aware. So we are in a high traffic area, which is great, which is why I love being in there. And it's like a prestigious place to be, the Queen Victoria building.
I loved the signage and the way that you were, as you're walking past, you can really see, it pops out and says, "We do engraving, personalise me," and talks to your customer as they're walking past, so it creates that curiosity and draws people in. I noticed it drawing people in.
Yeah, well, that's what we're all about, basically the personalisation. And people love that we do it in store. And even though it says, I think there's signs that say, "Take me home today,"
Yes.
we engrave in store, people still can't believe that how fast we can turn it around, that they can just wait a few minutes and take it home with them.
Yeah, so while we're talking about customers,
Yeah.
let's just dig a little bit deeper, because last time we spoke, you were going to go away and find out a little bit more, ask your customers
Yes.
some questions. How have you gone with that?
Yeah, so we conducted a survey. We went out to all our customers and we got a great response back. And we found a few things that we sort of knew and some things that were, I guess, a surprise.
Excellent.
So, most of all, we found out that the customers love the LV brand. Like, they love us.
Yeah.
They love the affordability and the quality of the jewellery. So, as you know, like our material is slightly different to sort of what you may find elsewhere. We use a lot of stainless steel, and that is very strong material, very hard wearing, doesn't tarnish or anything. We found customers love
beautiful.
that. Still looks great. We also asked a question about would the customers pay for the shipping or pay for extra for a gift packaging and so forth. So most of the customers were open to paying extra for extra services, but with the gift box, there was a good, I sensed they expected to come
The
in a box.
expectation, yes. Okay,
Yeah,
well, that's
yeah.
really interesting. That's good insights, isn't it?
Yeah, very much so.
Is your business doing things differently? Do you know a fantastic Aussie product or service that deserves a moment in the spotlight? Kochie's Business Builders is searching for Australia's most innovative businesses for our second annual Innovators competition, supported by Peugeot and their professional range of vans. The winner receives a grand prize of $1,000 and a segment here on our show. So nominate a business today at kochiesbusinessbuilders.com.au/innovators. Did you know that more than half of Australian business owners have not had a holiday in years? And since the pandemic, stress levels are on the rise, which means burnout and mental health issues. So is it possible to achieve work-life balance? For this week's Ask Kochie question, a viewer asked how they can prioritise balance and still get things done.
My question is, how do you schedule work-life balance into your life? I have this problem for myself as a publicist, as well as for many of my clients. Please, can you share any tips or hacks with regards to scheduling some time out and creating that work-life balance in our lives?
It is a question that affects so many business owners, Carrie, isn't it? What are some of your tips on how you can get the balance right?
I don't look at it in terms of balance. I look at it in terms of harmony first. So how I frame it is important to me. I need to make all those parts of my life that are important harmonise together.
So what about exercise and diet? How big a role does that play?
They're important, So I probably do 3 workouts a week. I spend a lot of time with my children playing soccer. I'm outdoors. So yeah, that's important. Sleep.
Because when you're stressed, you can just carb up and sit on the couch, can't you?
Yeah, I think whenever you're outdoors, it will give you that that extra perspective or energy, maybe rest your mind, you know, even have meetings on the go. So you can introduce little bits of wellbeing into your day, which don't make it too difficult.
Thanks, Carrie. That's great advice. Now to David Whelan, who launched corporate accommodation group Urban Rest Apartments in 2017. He has a few tech tips to share about how his team has adapted to the new hybrid work reality.
Hi, I'm David Whelan, CEO and founder of Urban Rest Apartments. We're aimed at the corporate travel segment, and we focus on design, well-being and sustainability, as well as using a lot of technology to really provide a superior product offering. We sit somewhere between traditional service apartments and the hotel industry, and there was nothing really that serviced our actual direct needs, which meant that we actually had to build out a lot of custom software. We needed things that came from a single service provider that would integrate quite smoothly and allow us to really rely on the fact that the software wouldn't break if any changes happened. So our business model relies on quite a lot of on-the-ground field staff. We also had quite a number of our staff working remotely from different locations. The collaboration tools within Windows 11 really allowed our staff to communicate in real time, troubleshoot and problem solve without necessarily needing to go back and forth between the office or the location. So having the snap layout allows me to pin my calendar to the side of my screen at all times, meaning that I can see in real time exactly what I need to do, no matter what else I'm working on at the time.
I'm Jonathan Moody. I'm the CEO and founder of Physio Inc, an allied healthcare business delivering in-home, online and in-clinic allied health solutions across the country. So usually allied health professions are non-invasive in nature, so we don't cut into the body, we don't draw any blood, for instance, that we're doing things that we work with the environment of the person, we work with the person's body, and we try to either adapt their body or the environment to get good outcomes for their health. The team culture of Physio Inc, I would say, is really organic. We really embrace the individuals and their individual nuances and quirks, and we really ask them to be themselves at work. So we find the right person that has the right heart, they have the right values, they come here and we find the right role for them. The future of Physio Inc is exciting, I think. It's been 16 years since Physio Inc has been in operation. I'm currently at the enviable stage of my career where I feel like it's almost day one. I keep saying this every single year, but it feels like we're only just starting. We are setting a foundation here at Physio Inc. Across the business, currently we've got in excess of 300 employees. It still feels like a small business. It still acts like a small business in terms of its love for its employees and its desire to achieve great things for our clients. We do like looking inward and always having a continuous improvement. We don't worry too much about what our competitors are doing because we just want to keep our staff happy and our clients happy. One of the smartest decisions we made at Physio Inc was bringing in more mentors into the business, and we did that in the form of an advisory board. I wanted, a set of mentors to be able to teach me and teach the executive on where our gaps were, how to be better at governing and how to have better quality programs. They're always forward-looking, they're protecting the business from risks, they're looking at opportunities, and they're helping the executive and the senior leadership team grow and learn and be challenged constantly. So it's been a wonderful thing for the business. The lessons that I've learned over the past 16 years have been so numerous. What would my one piece of advice be? Is get your values right. Write down what your values are, and it's not something to put on the shelf that collects dust. It's something that underpins how you act every single day. Our values have been there for quite a long time, and we make sure that our values underpin what our house rules are. And we put every single decision through that lens. Are they consistent with our values? Are they consistent with our house rules?
networking is huge. I keep telling people, in fact, I call it connecting, because I think that you need to know who you want to meet, why you want to meet with them, engage with them, learn about them, and find opportunities to work together. It can help you with the job, it can help you with partnerships, it can help you with just word of mouth of someone mentioning you to someone else. And it has literally built up the foundations that I needed to have successful businesses and grow them.
So networking is a strange one for me because I actually started my business at a time when COVID just hit, and so physical networking events weren't a thing for me. So what I've had to do is actually talk one-on-one via Zoom, via Google Meet, and just talk to other business owners and other women who have gone through this whole process before me. And networking and actually establishing a relationship with those people has been critical to the success of Hero Packaging.
Well, networking, I think, is critical for everybody, whether you're in business or not. So that's about getting out and to as many different events as you can and finding your tribe or like-minded people and having a conversation and doing something that I say to my little guy, not so much anymore, but when he was a bit younger, and that's use your words. You've got to get out and have those conversations.
Welcome back to the show. Earlier in this episode, Jane paid a visit to Nicole and LV Jules to see how daily operations were carried out. Now, Jane is going over the results of a recent customer survey with John to see what clients really think of their business.
So what else did you learn?
We also asked them about shopping in store or shopping online, because as you know, our lease is coming up in the next 12 months.
Yes.
And it's a big overhead having a physical location.
Yes.
We didn't really get a clear indication, like customers were sort of open to shopping in store and some were preferred shopping. It was very split.
And then some were obviously open to both.
Yes. I do love having a store in the Queen Victoria building. Like there's a certain, I guess, it's prestige to it.
But it's got to make sense, doesn't it?
The numbers,
it looks nice.
Exactly. Yes, it's got to stand up on its own 2 feet.
Yeah, it absolutely does. But it sounds like it just might. And maybe when we get to the bottom of the numbers, we might find that the store is a really important element.
Yeah.
It's certainly, for someone like us, even though now 95% of our business is online and 5% is in store, it's such an important element for us to understand our customers needs. She walks in, she tells us all about her life and what's going on and how we become part of her wardrobe solution. And I think for you, her gifting solution, there is so much gold in the interactions and in the learnings that you're having on the floor. And if you're continually evolving your product, it's great to be with your customers, experiencing your product, which helps you then know which direction to go and you know, find that temperature check, if you like, with your customers.
Yeah.
And what about product? What did they tell you about the product?
Okay, so there was a clear feedback from the customers that we need to increase our product range.
Okay, so variety.
Definitely, we need some new styles, some new designs. It could just mean that we need to offer more different styles of engraving or maybe some whole different pieces. I mean, that's also, again, something that we need to look into, and maybe we need to check the numbers on which ones are selling the most and maybe offer more
This
ones
is where
like
you
that.
can get creative, I think, John. This is about freshness. Girls love the new thing. So, it is really exciting. As someone who's in fashion, you know, bringing out new ranges all the time, keeps customers interested, keeps them coming back to find out what's new, what's coming out. One of the things we talked about, and if you agree, I'm happy to share a template for a cash flow budget.
Okay.
And it would be great to really understand the numbers sitting in behind the store and the online. So are you prepared to take a spreadsheet and get dirty with it?
Yes, I'm looking forward to it.
So I'm going to leave you with that, and are you happy to jump in with the spreadsheet and do your darndest?
Absolutely.
Then the other thing, obviously, the big decision you're making around whether you stay where you are, what would be the alternatives? Would it be to go into the suburbs, because maybe that has shopping changed? It's you know, where are your competitors? Where are they placed? And probably just a pros and cons list.
Yeah, I think that's great. That's really inspiring. I'm definitely going to think about that.
Awesome. Thanks, John.
Thanks,
Can't wait
Jane.
to meet with you again.
Carrie, it is a great reminder, isn't it? Ask your customers for feedback.
They have all the answers, right? You're solving their problems, they're solving their needs. And that data should give them lots of insights into exactly what their customers need solving at that time.
I reckon one of the best bits of advice I ever received in business was from a startup founder. who said they always launch a product or service when they think it's 70% right, and then they let their customers finish the other 30%, where I had the old-fashioned thinking of it's got to be 100% perfect before I'll even release it.
Like a website, I would never ever launch a website 100% perfect. Let them show you what's important to them, what job they need done, what problem they need solving.
Carrie, some great advice today. Thank you for joining us on the show. Really appreciate it.
It's my pleasure.
And remember, if you're looking for great business tips or the latest business news, then join our small business community. You can find us online at kochiesbusinessbuilders.com.au or follow us, Kochie's Biz, on Facebook, LinkedIn, Insta and Twitter. And I'll see you same time next week. Next week on Kochie's Business Builders, undisruptible author Ian Whitworth drops some truth bombs when he joins me as co-host. It's time to raise a glass when Holly Ransom checks in at Tiny Bear Distillery. Plus, Matt Alderton dishes up top tips for business owners.